When I do a dinner party, I try to get as much done ahead of time as I possibly can, and so the day before I try to get the centerpiece out of the way, and simpler is the best way to go, I've always found. So for the dinner that I'm going to have tomorrow, I'm just using some ivy that I got from the garden. I have picked up from the florist some baby's breath, and then we have wet foam and the centerpiece that I'm going to be using, the actual bowl. In order to work with these, the plants that I'm using, I have just a kitchen knife that I don't care much about because the wet foam will dull it, but I cut the wet foam to fit the bowl. To begin, something like that, and I'm going to have to trim the bottom to make it fit. And I just test to make sure it works, and it does. I'm going to fill this with some water. And it will take quite a bit because the wet foam will absorb the water, and it will keep your flowers fresh looking for the next day, so you won't have to worry about this. And it's really a time saver because the day of the dinner party, you're going to be really busy trying to get things done on time, and everything that you can get done and out of the way before that, the better off you will be. So I have this filled with water, and you want the centerpiece to suit the table. And I have kind of a long table, so I'm going to have something low, but that goes lengthways of the table. So I'm just going to start putting in some ivy. And I don't want the ivy to go up, I want it to go out along the table. So I'm just going to start with some of the longer pieces and fill those in on either side. And we can always trim this up later if we need to balance it out. And just take varying lengths and just fill it in. You don't have to worry about the center and getting the wet foam covered so much because later we will put the baby's breath in and cover all of that. So again, I'm just kind of taking some ivy, putting it in on either direction. It's going to go very quickly, and we will get this done, and we can move on to the next part of our planning. So again, I'm just kind of keeping it in the center here. I'm not worrying about going off to either side. I just want it to flow lengthwise for the table. So just pull different ones, and you can cut this if you need to make it work with what you're trying to accomplish. We'll just get this out of the way so we can see. And this is going to flow along the table, and we will have enough ivy that we can interweave maybe around the plates and some of the glassware as well. And as you'll see, it's actually kind of filling in, and all of this is going to be covered nicely, so we don't have to be concerned about that so much. Nice thing about ivy is that someone, even if you don't have ivy in the garden, you have a friend or a relative who most assuredly does, and nothing is more inviting, I think, than ivy. It's just warm and relaxing, and so it makes for a very nice center arrangement. And just kind of work with the natural contours of the ivy, letting it flow on either side in either direction until you get what you want. And we might actually be in pretty good shape for now with our ivy. So we'll move these others out of the way. And that is looking very good. And then we'll just take the baby's breath. And this is a very inexpensive arrangement, and it will look really nice on the table as well. As I said before, it's going to be incredibly inviting to the guests, but it's simple. So we're just going to start adding baby's breath to fill in. And we'll fill in on either side. To begin. And the wet foam will just take the stems very easily and very nicely. So you won't have to worry about that, but you can just stick it in. And you want to fill in, it doesn't have to be compact and overdone. You kind of want it simple and open and airy. Like so. Now that I've done this, I'm actually going to take something to add some texture. I'm just going to grab some green apples, and we'll just kind of fill those in. It'll add some nice depth to the arrangement, and then you just keep filling in around this. And just kind of work with it until you're comfortable with it. And you kind of need to be turning it around, making sure you are getting all the vacant spots so that you're filling it in nicely. And just break this off the tops of the flowers, and they make a nice spray, so it fills in very quickly. Now then, I think I need some more on the front. And there you go. I think that's actually rather simple. I need one more there, and I think that will be sufficient. Now, and then when I get it to the table, I'll just fix it up and finalize it, and we're going to be good to go for tomorrow night.